Konnichiwa everyone, my name is Jonas and welcome to Japan. Specifically, we're in Misasa-cho, the town of Misasa, in Tottori Prefecture. We're about 2-3 hours away from Osaka, Kyoto, Nagoya, some of the bigger city centers in the south of Japan. Maybe an hour-long flight away from Tokyo. I know it's been a while since I've posted. It's nearly the end of July, almost August today, and I actually arrived here in Misasa towards the end of May. But hey, it takes some getting used to live and work in another country. But for this video, I will be talking about what I've been up to while I'm out here, and then later I'll switch gears and show you pre-recorded footage of me walking around Misasa, showing off some of the pretty INAKA vibes, some of the neighborhoods, and the Misasa Onsen, which is the kind of the crowning jewel of the town. And also, I'm sorry I have my sunglasses on. It's like hella bright out here right now and very hot. So I'll be sweating like a pig while I'm recording this video. But the weather's pretty nice today, more or less. No matter what the weather is, it's always gonna be hot. So for the past couple of months, I've been living here in Misasa, working as an ALT, assistant language teacher. And I've been helping the teachers at the middle school instruct English. Currently, we're actually on summer vacation. So the students have classes off, but I actually don't have work off. So I'm still going into the school, which is fine with me actually, because as an early departure jet, I got here in May, and I actually got here in the middle of their first semester, as opposed to regular departures who will get here in July or in August. They have summer vacation to kind of get acclimated to living in Japan, come up with their curriculum with the teachers, and then meet the students when they come back in the end of August. So now that it's summer vacation at the school, I've just been coming up with activities, coming up with the curriculum while the students aren't here. We also have a couple things coming up, like the English speech contest. So I have a couple students who are practicing for that. And in my free time, the art club is showing up at school, along with a couple sports clubs, which are still meeting up in order to practice for some tournaments. So I'll join the art club, and they're working on a banner for the sports festival and the culture festival. So I've been helping them paint that banner, which has been really fun. And also a good opportunity to kind of get to know the students. Because when you're in the classroom, you're teaching, and there's kind of that expectation of the students that, you know, it's not really time to chat or really get to know each other. I will say, though, there are a couple pluses of arriving here early. One of them is that you can kind of experience what the beginning of a Japanese school year is like. I didn't get to see it, but there are opening ceremonies at the beginning of the school year. You can start teaching classes as soon as you get here, basically. That can be a plus for some people and a minus for others. But I think the positive in that is you start teaching the classes, you get a feel of what your relationship is like with the students, the teachers, what your responsibilities are. And then once you do get to summer vacation, you can kind of recalibrate and start to plan your activities and your curriculum accordingly. Whereas if you get here regular departure time, you get here during summer vacation and you will have not taught any students yet when you're planning your curriculum. So that is a plus that I've found in arriving here early. Another one of the pluses of arriving here early is that you will have been living here for some time, since April or May until July or August, so you can kind of plan your vacation for summer break. If you got here in July or August, I think it's a little unlikely for you to plan a vacation as soon as you get here. you'll probably be expected to plan your activities and curriculum. Like, I don't think it's going to be chill if you're like, okay, I'm here. Also, peace out. I'm going to Tokyo or Osaka or whatever. I think they're going to kind of expect you to stay here and plan out your activities. As for my duties as an ALT, my primary responsibility is to support the JTE, or Japanese Teacher of English. So I don't actually conduct class myself. I think that's because I'm a middle school teacher, but definitely in my case, I am there to support the teacher and help out the students. So in class, I am there to provide native pronunciation of English. I'm also there to help facilitate activities in class and also provide feedback to students speaking and their writing in class. Out of class, I'm tasked with creating presentations, helping with extracurricular activities. Like I said earlier, we have a speech contest going on, and we also had the Eiken, or Eigo Shiken, English test. That test is used for high schools and maybe universities as well to gauge students' English ability and grant them admission to those schools. And amazingly, all of our students passed, which is awesome. One of the things I really enjoy doing is that when I prepare PowerPoints for class, I will combine whatever the new chapter is teaching, the vocab, grammar, expressions, and combine that with stuff I want to teach the students about, like about myself, about my country, my culture, or maybe presenting topics that I think would be interesting for both me and for the students. Like, if you're interested in video games or an anime or like sumo wrestling or something, like, you know, that's something that you can bring up with students when presenting these things. Or it can also be an opportunity. Oh no! Well, what seems like is becoming a tradition in my videos is that I have a stand that always falls, and a phone that has now fallen on rocks. So you can imagine how that phone screen looks. Thankfully, that's not my personal phone. Sometimes it can be a little hard when you're JT and your students are speaking Japanese, and you're just kind of standing there. Or if a student makes a mistake or asks a question, and you want to explain it, but your level of Japanese is limiting you. It's challenging, but it's rewarding when you are able to communicate, when you are able to figure that out. I've been studying Japanese for almost 10 years now, and I still have trouble with these issues. So if you're an ALT, or if you're considering becoming one, don't let that be an obstacle to you. Like, don't let that discourage you.
Well, you heard that right. The audio cut out completely and utterly for the rest of all of my recording. So now this will be a dubbed foreign movie, me talking over myself. So I'll just continue from whatever I was talking about. So that's how work is in Japan. As for life here, I have a cozy apartment close to work, and I'll show you around my apartment in a later video. But living in the countryside, rent is dummy cheap out here. My rent, water, electricity, and gas bill are about $400 a month. Coming from LA, it's awesome to pay rent this low, and for that money, I have a great place. I live near the river, and lots of rice paddies nearby. So at night, I can always hear the frogs. In fact, I often find cute little froggies near my place all the time. Whenever I get back from work, I can see them near my door. Kajika frogs are very popular around here, but these little green guys aren't kajikas, so if there are any frogologists out there, please let me know what these are. They're so cute. And you can hear those iconic cicada sounds now that it's summer. I can see some people finding it annoying, but I think it's nice ambiance. It's also really cool to see rice growing day to day, since I had no idea how rice grew before coming here. Um, I ate rice all the time, I eat rice all the time, so it's interesting to see where it comes from. Food is obviously different here, especially out in the countryside. Actually, in Misasa, there aren't many restaurants or big supermarkets. So if I wanted to eat out or get groceries, I go to the nearby city Kurayoshi. And even at those supermarkets, I unfortunately can't find the same stuff I'm used to, which of course is to be expected when moving to another country. But before coming here, I rarely, if ever, cooked for myself, so living on my own has been a great opportunity to finally learn. In Japan, people tend not to have dryers, so they hang dry clothes instead. This may be the thing that I like the least about living here, since there's not a lot of space for me to hang dry, and spiders are always spinning webs on my hangers and stuff, so it's always just kind of gross to have to clear it off and worry about spiders climbing into my clothes or something. But I have not had an issue like that yet, so we're good. Here we have to separate burnable trash from non-burnable, and we also have to separate plastic bottles and cans into their own bags for recycling. When I first moved in, I received a booklet describing the various types of trash and what group they go in. I haven't found it to be much more difficult or different from trash sorting in the US, so it's not too big of a deal. At the moment, this is all I can think of regarding work and life here, though I'm sure I'm definitely missing a lot of things. So if there's anything you want to know, leave a comment and I'll cover it later. Now I'll show you around Misasa. So we start our stroll in the neighborhood near Town Hall. It's a peaceful Saturday with some people out enjoying the sun and breeze, or working in the rice paddies. You can see the wind blowing through the leaves of the rice plants. Thankfully, it was breezy this day, so it wasn't unbearably hot. At this intersection, I saw some birds and dragonflies flying around, and an old lady tending to the rice paddy. Here's the gate before the Omiya Shrine. I don't show it here, but before you pass through the shrine gate, bow first. I'm thinking about making a video about shrine and temple etiquette at some point. At the top of the stairs, you immediately see the shrine's main building, where you can make an offering. Here's a road that leads to Tokurinji, a Buddhist temple in the neighborhood. The roads around this particular area are crazy narrow, so it's hard to imagine cars, cyclists, and pedestrians all sharing the road. Here's a garden right next to the temple. And there it is. I'm not super clear on the etiquette when entering a temple, and I didn't want to be a bother, so I didn't enter that day. This is a major road that connects the Oze area with Misasa proper, where all of the hot spring onsens are. You'll notice the French flag flying alongside Japan's because of the town's Marie Curie Festival, which is held in the summer. Curie has that festival and a park dedicated to her because of her part in identifying radon radiation. Onsens in Misasa are famed for the water being treated with radon radiation. Coming up now is the Konbini, or convenience store, Lawson. Here's a path many students take when biking to school. For me, it still takes getting used to the expanses of rice paddies and mountains since I'm just used to living in the city. There was a big white bird in the distance that I could only catch as it was flying away. Here, I'm walking along the path to the elementary school, which runs parallel to the Mitoku River. Here's the elementary school. And there's the middle school right across the river. This is the Mitoku River, which I enjoy looking at from the middle school. During lunch break at school, while the students are preparing the meals, I like to look out at the scenery from up there. Here's the Mitoku from the bridge above, and on the guardrails there are these cute little burbs. And here's what I see from work on a daily basis. Whether it's sunny or raining, it's a beautiful landscape out here, with the Mitoku flowing out from the mountains. Here I'm taking a little break from walking, and there happened to be a game at the baseball diamond that day. After a hot but nice afternoon walking around town, I popped into Lawson for a cool drink to wrap up the day. On day 2, I drove out to Misasa proper to film the onsen area and get closer to the river. This area here is the Misasa Historic Village. There's a nursery school, souvenir shops, and a putting green. The weather was beautiful that day and perfect for shooting this video. This area is perfect for approaching the river because there's hella parking that no one uses, and there are stairs here to a clearing right next to the river. The breeze feels great down here, and it's super chill to just sit next to the river. If you walk further down, you can see these falls, which can be a nice spot for pictures. After enjoying some time near the Mitoku, I hopped back into my car and drove to the onsen area. This place is right in front of the Misasa Tourist Center, where you can find lots of info on things to see in the town. Here's a small model of Nage-Ire-do, which is part of the Sambutsuji Temple, a series of Buddhist temples built into the side of Mount Mitoku. And here's the Misasa Radon. You've probably seen this orange guy in previous clips. This is the town's mascot, named and designed after the Radon. Also, the Radon's got a cute little baby with a crab pattern, and I love it. This is Karen Misasa. She is the Misasa Onsen's representative in the anime Onsen Musume, or Hot Springs Girls, where all of the characters are representations of real-life onsens throughout Japan. There's a bunch of merchandise of the character here, which tourists can take to add to their collection of onsen musumes. Right next to the tourism center is Misasa Bridge. Beside that is a set of stairs that leads down to the riverside, where there's an open-air hot spring. I would show you what it's like, but every time I pass by, there's someone there, so here's a picture of it instead. This path has many shops, restaurants, and homes near the onsen area. Probably a nice spot to hang out after you've taken a dip in the onsen. Here is a foot bath dedicated to a Buddha, and a place to light incense for the Buddha right next to it. You can find lots of foot baths throughout Misasa. Before I left the area, I spotted a kitty walk into an alley, so I walked over to bother it. He really just be chillin' though. All of the cats I've run into in Misasa have good vibes. Here's a cat I saw on a rainy day just meowing away. Like I said earlier, Kajka frogs are very popular around here. It's largely because of how rare they are and their distinctive call, which is said to be prettier than other frogs. This here is known as Lover's Bridge. Here you can write on an emma your wishes for your love life. And you can make an offering to the froggy. This coin is 5 yen, which is a common amount to offer at shrines. This is because goen, or 5 yen, also sounds like a word for fate, destiny, chance, or relationship. Up here is the Misasa Violin Museum. They actually make violins here and hold classes on making them. This is Curie Plaza. We had the Curie Festival, so there were probably some people watching the fireworks being set off from Lover's Bridge. Behind the plaza is the Blanal, a ryokan, or Japanese-style hotel. I stayed here for one night while my apartment was still being prepared. In the hotel was an onsen, which at first I thought I would be too embarrassed to use. But hey, when in Japan, do as the Japanese do. I thought since I'm here for cultural exchange, it only seemed appropriate for me to try it at least one time. And it was fantastic. It was so good I wanted to get in the onsen again. Here are some steps leading up to another Shinto shrine. I went up here to get a view from the gazebo. As I went up, though, there were multiple strands of spiderwebs going directly into my face.
Oh my god.
Also, here's a butterfly I see everywhere around Misasa, and it has a really unique shape. I don't know what it is, but if there are any butterflologists, please let me know what this is, because they look sick. And after I got my shot of the river, it was time to head back down and take a shower. But before hopping back into my car, I took a video of the Mitoku from the Misasa Bridge. That was the end of my last day walking around and recording for this video. But here are some more clips I took after that. And finally, here's a video I took of the fireworks show at the Curie Festival. I hope you enjoyed walking around Misasa with me. Maybe you found it as peaceful and beautiful as I do. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you about my life here. じゃあね。